Three scenarios of the future of Port St. Joe related to health equity: living waters, murky waters, and cesspool through the lens of a fictional character named Amelie. Amelie grew up in the northern section of Port St. Joe, developing as her community did. Let us observe her experience of the living water scenario, specifically related to transportation and community voice in her younger years.
Throughout her time in elementary school, Emily had to walk only 5 minutes to school each day. Once she had started attending Port St. Joe's Middle School, her walk to school was extended 30 minutes. She voiced her frustration over the commute to her friends and family members, who all agreed. The public transportation in the city is minimal and is only offered for residents that have health related appointments. With that in mind, Emily and her parents constructed a plan to discuss their frustrations with the city council while providing a more efficient plan for the transportation system. Astonished by the young girl's passion and vigor as she spoke, the city council took her complaints and plans into consideration. Later on, the council presented their own 2 year plan to implement a better and free transportation system. This plan included hiring more drivers, buses, and stops within city limits.
Hopeful for brighter years, Amelie transitions into high school and starts riding the bus. Let's observe her experience of the cesspool scenario where Amelie battles with plummeting education access and quality, as well as issues with socio-economic context and trends.
Later, at Port St. Joe High School, which had decided to go virtual due to increasing online education trends in high school education, 16-year-old Amelie struggled with online education, feeling isolated as virtual classes failed to provide meaningful interactions with teachers and classmates. This sense of disengagement led to her grades plummeting and a significant increase in the likelihood of her dropping out, as the lack of personal connection diminished her motivation to succeed. Meanwhile, the school's infrastructure remained outdated, with no dedicated funding or improvements despite growing needs. Local government and community leaders continued to ignore calls for better educational support and safety nets, leaving the community fragmented and struggling. With the absence of effective employment opportunities and community development, economic hardships worsen, leading to further population loss as families seek better prospects elsewhere. Amelie tries to bridge the gap by creating virtual study groups and organizing online social events to foster connections, but her efforts are hampered by the systematic neglect of the school's infrastructure and resources. As graduation approached, Amelie's frustration grew. Her determination to pursue higher education and advocate for meaningful change highlights the ongoing battle for equity and the need for genuine investment in both education and community development.
As a result of the struggles witnessed during her high school years, Amelie decided against college and entered the workforce as a hairdresser. Now, she discovers the limitations of a Murky Waters scenario with a focus on neighborhood and built environment, as well as healthcare access and quality.
Emily grew to reach womanhood, realizing that the paper mill that had become a brownfield was still remaining one today. Yet almost a decade later, the city released a plan to use funds donated by the St. Joe Company, the owners of the site, to clean up the brownfield a few streets over. This plan allows the possible return of industry to the area and more opportunities for jobs. Yet Emily is concerned because such a return could drive health inequality, and her hairdresser job just offered her more accessible healthcare, but with no increase in affordability. If the pollution from new possible industries causes her family chronic or severe health issues, she might have access to healthcare, but definitely not the money as a low-income family working minimum wage to afford any of the available options.
Throughout her years of living in Port St. Joe, Amelie experienced numerous hardships that challenged her and others in the area. Each scenario was able to highlight the importance of finding support in their community to better the quality of life and environment. following the principles of utilitarianism and egalitarianism, which prioritizes both social equality and requires the end result to be the greatest good that can be done to the greatest number of people.